Family, what's good? What's popping, man? It's an emergency. It is an emergency, man. I don't know if y'all paid attention. I was at work yesterday, wanted to go live, couldn't. But hey, man, that boy Kyler Murray signed with the Minnesota Vikings. I was about to say Arizona Cardinals. He got cut from the Arizona Cardinals. He with the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, that
Breaking
would have been
news.
crazy.
1 year deal though. This is in case you paid attention, and I did say deal though. I didn't say the other word, man. Well, it kind of came out a little too quick now. 1 year deal though. You feel me? So, in case you didn't know, if you weren't paying attention, man, I did kind of sort of predict this, man, on my episode, man. NFL Cribs, check that out when you get a chance, man. But went to Minnesota, 1 year deal, and what I said in that video was buyers, renters, and I kind of expressed the Minnesota Vikings as being a rental situation where they have a guy in JJ McCarthy who they drafted. They still feel as young. Maybe he isn't mentally and physically and overall just where they want him to be, especially after seeing the guy they let go in Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. Now you bring in Kyler Murray. They say he isn't automatically the starter. It will be a competition. But if we know what we know, then we know what we know. So I just say Kyler Murray to the Minnesota Vikings. Today we're going to talk about the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, what this does for the offense. Justin Jefferson, my boy, J.A. Addison. And like I said in my video, man, I don't know if you know this, ATM. I'm sure you do. Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, Mason. Whole lot of suns over there, baby. So it's time to shine some light. Time to shine some sun over there. And it's dark and cloudy over there in Minnesota. So let me know what you thought about this signing, man. And were you surprised? Did you already kind of feel this was coming? And where we at with Kyler right now, currently in this state of mind of maybe being a QB1, baby?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this is obviously about as good as it could be for Kyler if you think about the cast of weapons. And I think I think Kyler, to me, was this is one of the reasons, not necessarily the Vikings. I could have seen other scenarios where I would have liked it. Honestly, I would have still been fine with Pittsburgh, but I think this is the most optimal for him. But this is why I had such a hard time, and I basically didn't move my Kyler shares throughout the year. He got to a point where it was like, y'all really are disrespecting him. Not that he's not going to play the rest of the year, right? That already has a cost baked in. But when you're telling me, like, I knew he was going to get a starting job or at least the opportunity to start. I think that's basically what we're looking at, right? This is the opportunity to win a starting job. In my opinion, you know, I would be shocked if he doesn't win the starting job, frankly. So I look at it as this, man. I was just actually going through right here. So last year, as far as passing offense goes in the NFL, right, for the whole calendar season, Fizz, the Vikings for the first time in Kevin O'Connell era were not near the top. And when I say that, like, people I don't think necessarily realize. So 2024, right, they were number 6 in the NFL at 43.79. Okay. One that is really wild to me, though, when you kind of look at the holistic Kevin O'Connell offense, the Vikings were actually, they led the NFL, right? They led the entire NFL, 4,700 passing yards, 2023, which was a carousel. They had a multitude of different starters. They had an injury to Kirk Cousins that season. So you're basically looking at a sample size where, regardless of the quarterback, the only problematic thing as far as yards go was last year. And the difference in that, Fizz, is they were, check this out, 32.08. They were damn near dead last in the NFL. Okay,
they ain't but 32 teams, baby.
they're like walking to 4,000 passing yards the prior 5 seasons, 2024 and prior. This year, this last year with JJ McCarthy as a starter, obviously he got hurt and you saw some really bad quarterback play there past that. But 32.08 was almost dead last in the league. I think Kyler Murray can come in and actually probably find a decent blend where with all these weapons, he can be a better passer than we've seen at points. And I think that he still has the rushing upside to give you truly league winning upside for a season. I think this contract year will go really well for Kyler. And I think Kevin O'Connell knows he doesn't want to get on the hot seat. So it's time to put Kyler behind center.
That's true. And I heard Mike talk about how Kevin O'Connell kind of got given that Sean McVay tree of quarterback greatness. I mean, quarterback coaching greatness in a sense. And, he had a veteran in Kirk Cousins. He had a veteran in Sam Darnold, who was around for a while. Now he's dealing with a rookie. And I always felt this about Cliff, man. I don't mean to veer off, but Cliff had Kyler Murray. Cliff had Jaden Daniels, who got hurt. And now Cliff is, kind of lost in the sauce over there at LA somewhere. I believe some coaches need those vets. They need those guys who already kind of got the numbers and everything put in their head. They got the game plan. And I'm not saying that Kyler can't do better than what he's already done, but I think Kyler is that vet that we've already known that once he gets in that game, if he's healthy, he can get you everything you need. Now, we didn't see him play his best in Arizona, right? But actually, who does? I mean, let's be real. Trey McBride is just an anomaly. Marvin Harrison, we all know we want him to go to another team or a better situation. Michael Wilson literally broke out as a receiver one out of nowhere with a different situation, but different quarterback. And I just think everything just went bad in Arizona. This is fresh air, fresh start for everybody. The same Kyler that we saw the last couple of years in Arizona, I highly doubt we see that in Minnesota. And this guy, Justin Jefferson, who's looking for a quarterback, last year he scraped by almost a little bit more than Mike Evans did to get that 1,000 yards. But he got that 1,000 yards, man.
I was going to say, about this time last year, you saw, him and J.J. McCarthy sitting courtside. I bet you don't see a whole lot of that this offseason,
And you want to know what happened in that courtside game? I don't know if you saw the highlight. Steph Curry dapped up JJ and walked right past JJ McCarthy.
So, no. That part I did.
You remember that?
Yeah,
you remember that? So that just lets you know. Steph even let him know, like, hey, man, you ain't up here yet, big dog. I'll shake your hand when you get up there. So
he hadn't earned solidified status. And as we look, it's not solidified at all,
Steph said, hey, I shoot great shots with these hands. I can't be touching bums, man, and not going out there missing my shot. So we all, JJ McCarthy fans, we all wanted him to step up and do his thing. I just think, man, to me, we go back to the Andy Richardson conversation. We go back to a lot of these quarterbacks that get drafted, thrown in these situations that win now. We need you to do what you got to do. I think it's a good thing for JJ as well, man. Even if you are a person that says, man, F this, he wasn't that good, and this, that, and the third. A lot of these young guys, especially JJ McCarthy, remember this, Adam, when he coming out of college, he was the least thrown quarterback, man, in Michigan. They ran the ball all day long.
And that was the thing. And there was a lot, still kind of is. I think it's becoming less polarizing because he played so poorly last year. But a lot of polarizing talk about that, where it's like, well, he wasn't asked to do that. They're winning. He's winning games. So now he goes to the coach that's going to develop him into more of a volume passer. I was actually just looking at this. One of the other crazy things, not only did they only throw for 32.08 with J.J. McCarthy under center, and obviously cast of characters too, led the NFL in interceptions, which 21 picks to 18 touchdowns. Like, in essence, here's I think the reality, right? Now, McCarthy could respond. I would be absolutely floored if he responds in a way where they're, he's keeping Kyler on the bench, frankly. I think right now, J.J. McCarthy does need some, coaching up. I'm curious what that ends up being for him. But last year, you just have seen the Vikings offenses, and you could have seen growing pains last year. You could have seen him have moments of, showing upside, but then also where it's like, we're seeing a lot of even these turnovers. You just can't have the offensive implosion that it did with, Justin Jefferson in his prime. You have a lot of weapons and a lot of expectations realistically that should have been high. It was about as big of a letdown as you could see from McCarthy. I do think he has a chance if he can, continue to develop to, go down this Baker and this Darnold route. Not necessarily saying he's going to win a Super Bowl one day, but you see how these guys continue to develop their game, even if they're not the starter for multiple teams as they carry over. So I think, he's got some growing up to do, but it's got to watch Kyler now.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I think they both got a lot of growing up to do, man. We all go through
Kyler
this
has a lot of
Murray.
growing up to do too, by the way.
That's what I mean, right? We talk about the Call of Duty thing. We talk about, that's one of his favorite memes, his favorite situations as a quarterback. Last year, we watched a veteran, Jacoby Brissett, come in, take his spot, played 14 games, had over 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. But Adam, we saw Trey McBride score more touchdowns with Jacoby Brissett in one season than he has his entire career with Kyler Murray. And they played 4 seasons. So I'm just saying, we have all these assets I just named, all the sons, Hawk, Addison, Jefferson. What's going to be the biggest difference between what Kyler was doing in Arizona with Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, to what he's bringing now here in Minnesota. I think a lot of people aren't really sold, right? You're gonna have a lot of people right now if you holding on to
Absolutely.
Kyler Murray. What are you doing right now? If you have Kyler Murray, is your target to get JJ McCarthy? Because a lot of people probably done with him, probably get it for the lowest price you ever get him. Or
Well,
are you looking to flip this asset as well? Because I don't want nothing to do with the situation. He on a 1 year deal. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't like this guy anyway. Because most of us that drafted Kyler, we were just kind of took him for the value more so than I really need Kyler Murray.
yeah, at some point, yeah. I think well, for Kyler, I think what's changed is definitely, I mean, there's obviously a lot, but you saw coming into the league, right? 2019, number one overall pick. Obviously, you talked about Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He showed well in his rookie year, but they needed a lot of improvement. They started winning games, though. That was the thing, right? This is a team that the year prior took Rosen, and they were awful. So he started to trend the right way. You're on a rookie contract is the other big thing I think to keep in mind, right? So you're on a rookie contract trying to prove yourself, and he did that. They had moments of coming to prominence, and there was I think it was his year 3 where there was things really starting to click. They had Nuke Hopkins, and you're thinking, okay, like this guy might be taking them into like legitimate contender territory. And that's where everything started to, I think, really backfire in a way, because when expectations rise, right? If you don't rise to those moments with them, and knowing only one team can continually win game after game in the playoffs, that's I think where things started to get rough. Nuke Hopkins starts getting older, and I think Kyler showed a lot of flash excitement, but ultimately
100%.
he struggles to be consistent, and he struggles at times with frankly staying healthy a little bit, being truly mobile all the time. So he's had some good seasons. Actually, one of the things is his passing numbers aren't quite as high as you might expect for a guy that's had some success in the league. He's actually never quite eclipsed 4K as far as passing goes, but he's had very good seasons. I think for him, being willing to in this moment, right? So you earned the contract, and now you're playing for your future in a way. And I think sometimes you need a little bit of a fire under your ass, especially for these guys that are really talented. I think that's the opportunity he has to have that type of momentum and feel where, listen, last year when he got hurt, there was no scenario where people were like, oh, Jacoby Brissett is going to like transform this offense. And then now all of a sudden he's not going to be in Arizona. He was still the franchise guy. So I think for him, it's like, okay, I got hurt and now everything changed. Those are the type of things I think leaders and really great athletes, they respond to. So for him, I think that's the thing. You have the weapons now. You have the situation. You got to prove it deal. You go prove it, and all of a sudden you're going to get paid again. I think you're muted.
I'm definitely muted. The biggest word that you say out of all of that is leaders, bro. We haven't seen Kyler be a leader yet, man. We've kind of been that guy that's not the opposite, the total opposite of a leader in his situations. And a guy like myself, how I like to watch the game and kind of analyze the game, I think it's more just the situation, man. Who in Arizona, other than the guys that really say, hey, I'm here, I'm balling, Kyler is a guy that needs leadership, and he's less of a leader. So I think he needs to be around those Justin Jeffersons. Same way he was sitting courtside with JJ. JJ, you my guy, man, but we got a new QB here. I'm sitting courtside with him this week. And I know Kevin O'Connell. Every time I watch him, that's why I really believed in JJ McCarthy, because Kevin O'Connell, man, he's not a aggressive guy. He's not a bash you when you're down type of coach. He will dap you up. He will put that playbook on your chest and tell you, man, next play, we're not tripping. We're not worried about it. And I really believe Kyler needs that from a coach. He never had that relationship with an offensive coordinating coach when Cliff left. And I think when Cliff was there, he was just too young, man. He just had to go through those growing pains.
For sure. There's maturity that probably still is in the making here for him. But I think I also think one thing you brought up, Kingsbury. I think, listen, Cliff Kingsbury has proven to be obviously a very, very different and brilliant mind as far as offense goes. But he's not necessarily known for being like the best overall coach as far as winning and going to the big prominent land. I think Kevin O'Connell has shown at least the ability in a decent duration of time to be a guy that maybe can push him into not just getting the best out of himself as a passer and developing there, but I think actually, winning games. So I think here's what I'll say. If Kyler is fully willing to embrace what that's going to look like and no longer just being this franchise guy that you don't really have to, deal with questions and things from people, allowing that to be his relationship with Kevin O'Connell, I think he could really be massive this year. And I think the Vikings may have gotten potentially a sneakily unreal break getting this guy because you imagine right now they don't get Kyler Murray at the moment. Think if they don't get Kyler Murray at the moment, right? And you're like, damn, Darnold just won the Super Bowl. You had this JJ McCarthy experience and no plan. Like, if this doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's a 1-year deal. But if you
at least the morale in Minnesota,
you're gonna be geniuses all of a sudden.
100%. At least just make the playoffs, right? At least do something that we didn't see last year, and we can all kind of get behind it. I just think with it being a 1-year deal, it's back against the wall for everybody, even Kyler. Because next year, hey, you looking for a contract? Hey, I'm looking to still be here and be relevant. Sure. So let's work together. They're going to be neck and neck, coach and quarterback. I think everybody is ready for a breakout season in Minnesota, like they had with Sam Darnold before he left. But I just say this, AT. I'm looking at JJ McCarthy right now. He didn't drop dramatically. Before we get to him and close out with him, Kyler Murray, where you got him at right now? Where you think he's going to be at when the season comes, once we start seeing them highlights and them, all-season plays? And ultimately, where will he finish at the end of this year, man, for us at Dynasty?
Yeah. Loaded bunch of questions. I think here's where I'm at. I'm going to be very bullish relative to consensus because of this, right? So I'm looking. I think QJ Cut's just out of their minds, or just some of the hate. Some of the hate.
I'm looking right here now. There. I couldn't find him for a minute. I'm like, where's he at?
now, granted, okay, let me say a couple things. Granted, I know it takes some time for this to get going. He's up 15 spots. I could see that really going quite a bit. To me, is basically this. I'm putting Kyler. I'm betting on what I think for him is a guy that does have mobility and has the tools. And I think we've seen enough of as a passer and moments to believe that this is a guy that could be a franchise quarterback still for a few more years. So I'm going to put him right behind the guys that I'm more sure of. So basically, like Jalen Hurts, I'm putting him probably at around 10 or 11. And here's the thing. The reason is this, because the other guys give you stability potentially as far as their situation, and maybe they'll be a starting quarterback for a while. But they're pretty much like this, as far as difference maker and scoring, they're more like back-end quarterback ones if all things break right? Or, a quarterback two. So really I have a bunch of years, but I'm looking for the difference-making years. And I think Kyler's at least in the position to, secure himself in a great offensive scheme with great weapons.
Yeah,
that to me is something that actually what's crazy is we've never seen for Kyler. I don't think he'll end up being someone that's running for that like 800-yard mark and double-digit touchdowns like he did when he was in the quarterback one overall discussion. But for me, it's basically the elite quarterbacks, and Kyler should be right next to that. And if it doesn't work out like Minnesota, it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, he's gonna go right back there. I really believe that.
I'm with you. So I'm looking now. You said Jalen Hurts around Jackson Dart. Jalen Hurts is, so that's before.
I'd put him at like 10 or 11 right now, frankly.
Okay, so before, so for those who's not looking it up, before Trevor Lawrence, before Bo Nix, before Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, those names, right?
Yes. Now, listen, I think it's. Let me say this: it's in probably the same tier. I have him at the top of the same tier as like Purdy and T-Law, the way he showed at the end of the year this year. Okay. I'm not sure that I believe that it's going to continue to be consistent like that, year in and year out. But we've seen moments from T-Law. So I think he's in the same tier as those guys, but at the top of it.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, I got him ahead. I got him ahead. Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that. I'm still taking Jalen Hurts over him. Jackson Dart, man, he's in one of those situations where I don't know if you saw ACM, but they have some of the most boring offensive coordinators, coaching staff in history, as far as Greg Newsome and Greg Roman and
Greg Roman,
and Matt Nagy. You know what I'm saying? Like we saw these guys and what their offenses look like. So Jackson Dart, to me, I can't put Justin Jefferson and all of these weapons and Kevin O'Connell over top of Kyler Murray for 2025, I'll say, or 2026 season. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I think here's what I'll say. I think Jackson Dart's going to bring some excitement to what they don't have, because I think the way he plays stylistically is going to be exciting. Probably going to get him in some trouble at points, but he's someone that brings he's dynamic, man. He is dynamic, and I think at the moment I would probably, if you told me I had to hold the asset for the season as far as scoring, bet on Kyler. But Jackson Dart is someone that really gets you into crazy tiers for trading. So I would still take Dart ahead of him.
All right. Well, for the other guy, this other guy that maybe could start, injuries happen. Maybe he gets a spark out of nowhere. Maybe he unplugs or hooks up a subscription for Kyler to go play Call of Duty, and he go learn his damn playbook. JJ McCarthy, man. Before we get out of here, we at least tap in with the people. Where you at with him, man? What's the future? What is it looking like? I know it's probably a tough question to literally answer right now, but if you have shares in him, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
How you feeling about this, man? Is it just get him off my team? Is it if I got Kyler, hold him, or is it a package deal? Get both? Like where we at with it with JJ right now for those people itching with this news, man, that don't know what to do with him?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those situations where realistically, like, listen, if your league is going to allow you to pivot out of McCarthy for a reasonably high asset, you probably should have been done that. But if you can do it, cool. I just think this is the reality for me. He's probably not. You think about if I was to trade him in this rookie class, the second round range, even in this rookie class, is, not the greatest. And I don't even know if people would send you a second straight up right now for McCarthy. So at this point, I think it's kind of one of these situations where if you have him, like, you're kind of stuck, in my opinion, for what's reasonable to send him away for. Like, at this point, it's not even sunk cost fallacy. There's no cost. That he doesn't really carry one to me, and I think I would just hold on to the opportunity for him to develop and show some promise, and then we'll see if he can get himself a starting job in the next couple of years. But this is kind of more of a hope and pray situation. I'm just not going to get rid of him for, a pick that's realistically might completely bust or not even get basically any value back. I would like to hold if I'm there, but if you tell me I can really pivot into like second round pick or players in that range, I don't necessarily hate it, honestly.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Maybe call me a fool, man. I know Mike. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen. Mike has the apology form for JJ McCarthy that he left on here. I won't be signing it because it is what it is at this point. But I will just say, me personally, Adam, man, I don't know for a second, man. If anything can happen with Kyler, man. He can get injured. He can leave, and JJ,
that's why I need at least a second or something, because there is an opportunity that he would come in. Now, here's the problem for me. One of the reasons I'm a little okay with it is Kyler could get hurt, and we saw what JJ did last year. So,
this is true. This is true. But sometimes, man, we need. Me, man. We just need that eye of the tiger, baby. And I feel like he might see it. If he see Kyler walking in there, he might have to stand up on his toes to see him walking in there. But Kyler walking in that building might send a little bit of chills through him, and he might say, "Damn, I might really be losing my opportunity, bro."
Listen, this is one of those moments for JJ McCarthy, I think, too, where you're like, you talk about the little guy walking in the room. I think right now, if you think about his situation and where he's at relative to last year, relative to the year going into his rookie season, he got hurt. This is probably a situation he never envisioned possible. And I bet you he's 100%. Probably feeling pretty damn small right now as far as his ego and his now that little quarterback coming in and taking the spot from him. I bet you that's going to put him through. I think he's got to go through some rough situations here in the future. But I think if he embraces it, you could maybe see him come out as a starting quarterback at some point. My biggest reason why I'm really okay getting rid of him, especially in the second round range, I don't know if that exists still, is because for fantasy success, even in college, we've never seen it. We've never seen him put together the volume to do it. So, if he ends up turning into that, great. I'm willing to kind of hold and hope for that, but basically at cost of where he's almost nothing third or later.
I just say this
in Superflex.
Two good sellers. Minnesota Vikings offense have Kevin O'Connell and Thor Nystrom. These are the two biggest sellers for me to get JJ the whole time. I was like, I did not want JJ. In the year. I didn't want no parts of them till these guys kind of convinced me. You feel me? So,
listen, I went sellers, man. Last year for your idiot league mates, which is a league. It's a redraft league where it's focused on the people that make the content creators. And Thor had me like, man, I waited on quarterback, my second quarterback. I ended up taking McCarthy and TJ Hockenson, and to round out my room. And boy, what's crazy is actually I had Kyler as my quarterback one. So here I am looking crazy, looking foolish. Superflex was ugly, and they're both in Minnesota this year. I don't. Here's what my only concern, honestly, moving forward is Kyler. Do we think Kyler, even if it brings success to the team, is a passing enough volume guy to really get all the weapons a boost that we think is coming.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. I mean, we didn't see JJ do it at all. He was putting up 30-point games at only 3 touchdowns for 140 yards passing, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm pretty sure he never got to 300 in a game, and a lot of them were like, he might get over 200 to crawl in there. So it was not ideal.
Or he played the Cowboys defense, and then he didn't look like a superstar, right? So
but I mean, I will say for Jefferson, you got to look at it as a good thing. Kyler did support in that 2020 season. Luke Hopkins, honestly, one of his best seasons, 1,400 yards and 6 touchdowns, before his fall, unfortunately. But I think Justin Jefferson probably won't get a ton of a bump because he's already really high, but he probably goes back to the elite tier as far as values here pretty quickly. And we'll see what happens I'm still not really betting on Hawk much. I think Addison is going to be very boom or bust, but with crazy boom opportunity.
I'm with you, brother. Well, I will just say this, man. I made that trade with you that looked crazy at the time. It was Hockenson for Chris Godwin in the Cook-Up League. And I remember Coop even said, "That's it." And I said, "Hey, that's it." I'll just say, I'm hoping that it still works out. But neither one of them did nothing for us last year. So
I was gonna say, I don't know if I'm celebrating that trade from either side.
I'm not celebrating.
Godwin is getting. I'll take Godwin. I'm surprised hasn't gotten a little more bump in value. We all knew Ibuka kind of was going to feel good with Evans moving on. Godwin at the moment still outside of like wide receiver 70 is crazy.
I think he will though, bro. It's summertime come. Trust me, it's coming. Kenny Gainwell is there though. He will get some of those underneath passes, short routes. That's going to work out.
Godwin obviously did not play well last year. He looked like he was still dealing with that injury pretty badly.
Yeah.
People forget completely. He was literally breaking fantasy in the NFL for 6-7 weeks, man.
Send him to me, baby. Send him to me. I ain't forget.
Don't forget TJ Hockenson, though, was right there, tight end 1. All right, speaking of forget.
God wins, brother. That's my favorite line for Godwin, baby. But I think we covered that, man. As far as those two guys go, ATM. I know this is a breaking news event, and we actually have another stream coming up, man, for the people. But I will just say I won't leave without saying what's up to the people that least picked off. So let's see what's popping with these folks, man. I hope y'all got the links up. I will send them out for those people that I have to send my links to. I don't mind doing it. I'll get it cracking. This was, like I said, a breaking news situation. I wanted to bring this up, but this is the new look, man. New look Fizzle Fridays. I came up with a new little idea. I see Jake talking about how this looks. So this is how it will look from now on. Jake in the building though. What's good with you? My boy, Mr. Voorhees, aka Friday the 13th. Friday 13th, back-to-back months, February and March, man. What's up with that?
Well, Mr. Voorhees won, Fizz and I both rocking here in March, the Halloween South Harmon logo. You got to love that. And Mr. Voorhees, man, every time I talk to Fizz, I'm hearing about Mr. Voorhees. So love it. Love to see you, man. You're never not here, but love seeing you again.
Exactly. And now today he's here celebrating. So Pops, what's good with you? I know he ain't looking.
Hey, man, it's been a while since I've seen the big hand and the little hand on the same clock. What's up, man?
Pop still trying to figure out who to trade AJ Brown for, man. He'll figure it out. We help him out soon with that.
You're gonna have to hold on to AJ, my guy.
Yeah. Soggy in the building. What's good with it, bro? And I'm gonna read y'all comments after we finish this stream and answer them if y'all have anything that y'all really want to know. But we got another stream coming up soon, breaking down more topics, man, more NFL topics. We just wanted to bring this fantasy side of things, see what was good. My boy Rock is in the building as always. Boy Big N, he said Big E. He said the Mighty Mouse is in Minnesota. Who else we got up in here? Swag Messiah in the building. My boy Geist in the building. Terminal. I was about to say turbulence.
Terminal sarcasm, man.
Yeah. My boy Gov always up in here, always in the chat, always in the comments. I see you, Gov, man. It's all good. Man. Who else we got? Mr. Pink in the building. I don't know how I ever say you, Playboy, but I appreciate you coming through, man. What's good with you? Who else we got up in here, man? I think that might have been Patty. Can't forget about you, brother. Can't forget about you.
Damn. Fizz, look at Fizz, man. Everybody's in here checking them out. What's up, man? Fizz Fridays, we on and popping, man. The vibes are high.
That's it, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna send them links out for those linkers and see the rest of you stinkers, man, in a couple of minutes. All right, so the other link is up. We're gonna talk about Trey Hawk. Hold on, Trey Henderson. You got me there with Hockenson. Trey Henderson. Max Crosby, the Baltimore Ravens are the bad business. Are they bad promoters or what we doing? And we're going to get into that 83-point game. There's a lot of controversy behind that. My boy ATM will be joining me. So, hey, man, make sure y'all stay tapped in. We're going to take a quick break. Go get your popcorn ready. Do whatever you got to do, man. And hey, I'm gonna send them links out in a minute, baby. So get back at us. We out of this thing, huh?
Ready to vibe, man. Huh?